Hey, what's up, my social media people? Today, we're hopping into the strategy that the biggest brands and creators use to not only grow, but get way more engagement on their channels. I like to call this the bites and banger strategy. And by the end of this video, you'll know how you can use it for your accounts. Let's hop in. All right, let's break this down. This strategy has two types of content. We're talking bites and bangers. Let's hop into the first one. What are bites? Bites are your easy to create, quick pieces of content. Think of them as social media snacks. And they're designed to do two things. One, get people to stop scrolling, and two, get them to engage, whether that's a like, a share, or a comment. Now, what makes a good bite, you might ask? Really, it comes down to three things. One, they're easy to create. Two, they're easy for the viewer to digest. And three, they're easy to share. Okay, this is written content that's typically under 300 words in length, or a video that's under a minute. This content stops people on the scroll, gets them to go, oh, that's interesting, or oh, that's entertaining. I'm gonna like, comment, I'm gonna send it to my friend, send it to my partner, etc. Think about the context and which users might see your content. Bites are perfect for when people are killing time, waiting for a train, sitting in between shows, on their lunch break at work, and they're just scrolling. And we want to give them quick hits, quick bites to make them laugh, bring enjoyment by sharing with a friend, etc. So that's how we want to think about bites. All right, now let's move on to bangers. Bangers are the heavy hitters of your social strategy, right? These are the pieces of content that you put a lot of effort into. You research them, you have a unique angle. They're long, they're maybe more produced than usual. They're a bigger piece of your strategy. Why do we create bangers? Well, one, they allow you to differentiate from your competition at a deep level. They allow you to become not only well-known, but known well. And that's as Shaan Puri, who we'll talk about later in the video, says. This allows you to connect with people and really give them that deep dive into you, the information you want to present. Also, we got to think about bangers. They're for a different context. If bites were for when people are waiting for the train or on their lunch break, bangers are for when they're in their bed with the cover up over top of them and they're scrolling or they want to learn. These are the pieces of content that people like and they save for themselves. These are the pieces that people come back to over and over again. They see them as a resource, they bookmark them, they share them with colleagues or close friends, and there's a ton of value within those posts. All right, let's look at a real world example of this. And we're going to hop in here first with Shaan Puri. So we have his tweets right here. Shaan throws out a ton of bite content, sharing his insights or comments on business news all the time. But occasionally he puts out a banger, and those bangers allow you to know him very well, and they also result in a ton of growth for his account. He uses the bites to get in front of you daily, and the bangers get in front of a new audience and position Shaan as a resource. These often go viral, and he is able to see his account jump significantly in follower count, and that funnels into everything else he's got going on, to podcast, courses, whatever he has, that helps funnel into those. But this isn't just for creators. It's for brands too. Let's look at these two posts from Hubspot. Now, in my opinion, HubSpot, they balance bites and bangers better than any brand that I see. And they understand that they need to get in front of their potential customers on social. They understand that they're competing not with other CRM platforms on social, but they're competing with fast food chains, clothing brands, and the viewer's crazy uncle on social media, and they need to stand out in that feed. They also know that to be trusted as a CRM solution, they need to have bangers. They need to have in-depth analysis. They need to help people who are at a consideration phase or are taking HubSpot and pitching it as a solution organization. They need to help them sell that internally, and they can't do that through memes and bite content, but they can do that by sharing analysis from the banger content. HubSpot does a great job of balancing both. That's the easy way to put it. Okay, now you might be thinking, right, this sounds good, but what are the risks? What should I look out for? The biggest thing that I see with companies, and they don't set out to do this, but it happens, is they over-index on bites and they let bangers fall to the wayside. This is because bites are easy to produce. They get that quick hit of dopamine and engagement. So we think, I'm just going to make more of those. Now, the problem is if all we do is focus on bites, we risk brand dilution and only ever servicing the top level of the funnel. To make sure that we actually do create bangers, we want to time block for bangers. We want to set a target number for the quarter. How many big pieces are you going to produce? When are they going to be done? What are the production assets that are needed? Who's the talent? Who's going to run points on that? Think of those as an essential piece of the the content strategy, and then bites are used to fill in. It's very similar to if you're building a house, your bangers are your pillars and the bites are the pieces of drywall that go up between the pillars. If you don't have the bangers, the bites ain't gonna hit. And if you don't have the pillars, the walls ain't gonna stand up. So think about that when you're creating your social strategy. All right, I mean, look, that's pretty much it. I think one of the bigger things in this whole thing, right, is really think about the context in which the viewer is going to see your content. If they're waiting for the train, swiping, that is a completely different interaction than when they're in bed at night or when they're on their lunch break. Every situation is different. So if we think about that in mind, how do we get them to stop and what could be interesting to them at that moment? That can help us as we go through to create our content. Look, if you found this useful, hit that like button. That helps us get out in front of more marketers. I'm Jordan Shelton, and I'll catch you next time.